Y'all, the issue with technology and advancements in general, right, is that everything that can improve or better our lives can also severely hurt slash hinder our lives, right? AI has been amazing as far as helping people out in a variety of ways. But we're also seeing that along with, oh gosh, I mean, do we even want to talk about the whole deep fakes from prawn, right? That were affecting people like Pokimane and whatever, and what's his face getting caught looking at deep fakes of his friend's girl, right? I mean, it's kind of incredible that they can make realistic, deep fakes of like prawn or deep fakes of artists in music videos when they were never in the music video, because you can change the artist into whoever you want to change them into appearance wise and whatever, right? You can create the voices, right? It's crazy to listen to some of these deep fake conversations where they'll have like Trump and Obama and whatever sitting around a table. It's amazing. Technology is amazing. But along with that amazing comes some really problematic stuff sometimes. And what do we do? Right? Because once it becomes more accessible to the generalized public, once people figure out how to use it of their own accord, the problem then becomes how do you keep people from abusing it or from using it for sinister reasons. So as you can see here, it says an Arizona mom says her daughter's voice was cloned with an AI app and a $1 million kidnapping hoax. Can you imagine? Jennifer DeStefano answered a call from an unknown number and heard her daughter's voice on the other end stating that she had been kidnapped. It later turned out to be a scam. Whew. Imagine.
This mom got the scariest phone call of her life. On the other end, she hears her daughter crying.
She's like, Mom, I messed up, as she's crying and sobbing.
Then a man gets on the line and claims he's kidnapped her 15-year-old daughter, Bree.
He's like, listen here, I've got your daughter. You're not going to call anybody. You're not going to call the cops. And I just put the phone on mute and started screaming for help.
A mom in Arizona is sending a warning after her daughter's voice was cloned in a $1 million kidnapping scam. Jennifer DeStefano's 15-year-old daughter Brianna was on a ski vacation when DeStefano got a call from an unknown number. The mother told Good Morning America. The only reason she answered was because she thought something could have happened to her daughter, Brianna. This is a big, remember guys, before there was a big issue where Facebook was relatively new and people weren't thinking, so they were just telling people their whole life story on Facebook, including when they were leaving for vacation, how long they'd be gone, so on and so forth. So then it told robbers, oh, okay, so that house over there is going to be empty for 2 weeks, so we could rob them blind and no one will know, right? It's kind of the same thing when your kids, let's be real, kids are still idiots. They're, publicizing their crimes on Facebook Live still, right? So they prove they're still idiots. But, kids will sit there and tell the world everything still, right? So unfortunately, there's no way that they as kids are going to be able to foresee enough things. But even us as adults who have been, alive on this planet for decades and decades, or, grew up with technology or whatever, the new ways in which we can be scammed, that information that we put online can hurt us. It's not always easy to foresee when something new is going to be invented and what it's going to be, right? And so, unfortunately, I'm sure she was super hyped up. The daughter, right? 15-year-old Brianna was super hyped up, told everybody. Maybe it was just well known, hyped up everyone in the class is talking about it, right? Because, you're on this ski vacation. And so that gave these scammers the perfect opportunity to know, well, if you're tracking those kids on, their Instagram or whatever, to know when they're going to be on the hills, when they're going to be out of reception, so on and so forth, right? And when the vacation is and blah, 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 and their number, well, boom, now all you got to do is call mama when mama can't get a hold of the daughters because they're going to be on the hills all day, and then boom. There you go. You give them a time limit or something like that, and boom, there's $1 million. Crazy. All right, let's take a look now. So, what she heard after picking up, right? She heard her daughter's voice crying and sobbing, saying, Mom, She was like, okay, so what happened? She's like, Mom, these bad men have me. Help me, help me. She said then that a man got on the phone and told her, put your head back and lie down, which terrified DeStefano. This man got on the phone and he's like, listen here, I've got your daughter. This is how it's going to go down. You call the police, you call anybody. I'm going to pop her so full of drugs. I'm going to have my way with her and I'm going to drop her off in Mexico. This must be a kid because this is like the stupidest story ever. Like, no, like not like the AI thing, but like that's all he could come up with. I'm gonna put her full of drugs and drop her off in Mexico. That's the threat. Like that sounds like another 15-year-old, real talk, who's a little salty, because he didn't get to go on the trip too. I don't know. Anyway, and remember, he could have made his voice sound like just about anything. So, it, and at that moment, I'm sorry, and at that moment, DeStefano just started shaking. In the background, she's going, her daughter is going, help me, Mom, help me, please help me, and bawling. The voice on the phone demanded $1 million before lowering it to $50,000 after DeStefano, who was at a dance studio with another daughter, told him she didn't have it, per NBC 15. She had the mysterious man keep talking while one mom at the studio called the police and another got DeStefano's husband on the phone. They were able to make sure that Brianna was safe in less than 5 minutes. Oh, they're lucky in this case. Super lucky. I'm not going to lie because I'm pretty sure it was a 15-year-old, right? But you think about like an hour or so? I honestly, like, if you think about it, right? If it's just an older person with a little bit more planning, I'm gonna stop talking because I feel like I'm gonna be able to be like a like charged if someone uses. But I'm just saying, right? Like it wouldn't have taken. It would just take the tiniest bit more of foresight, knowledge, and planning. And in this case, it's clearly a 15-year-old. It was clearly a kid. Like when you heard the pumped up full of drugs and stuff, it was clearly a kid. Okay, so they're dumb, right? But dude, if you could not get a hold of that kid, right? Because let's say she didn't have her cell phone on her because batteries died because they're not allowed to take their cell phones out with them on the actual hills, whatever it is, right? And the person calling and doing this scam has the knowledge they're not going to have their phones for 8 hours today or something like that, right? That's all you would really need, you know, for $1 million or for $100,000 or whatever, right? Like, dude, you put some time limits on that this could be really, really dangerous. She hung up the phone and told NBC 15 that she truly believed it was her daughter on the phone instead of an artificial intelligence AI platform. It was completely her voice. It was her inflection. It was the way she would have cried, said DeStefano. I never doubted for 1 second it was her. That's the freaky part that really got me to my core. Brianna told Good Morning America, I started to wonder, like, if these people were asking to track my mom and pick her up, they could have obviously been putting some information together to try and track me or some of my siblings to actually make this a reality. So it's definitely scared me. And this is what I was saying, right? You have to really break it down for teenagers to keep them from being idiots because they just share everything online. They really do. Now, the founder of Way, which educates youth on technology, per its websites, told GMA that getting someone's voice is easier than most might think. Most people in the modern age have some form of an online identity and have probably spoken in some way, in some aspect that's been recorded, especially if you're under the age of 25, Sinead Bovell said. So this becomes very, very challenging as we move into a future where we do have these AI generators or synthetic audio when it comes to verification and validation. He added, there's a lot of positive and exciting aspects about these technologies, but then of course, they also come with a lot of risks and harms. Experts advise social media users to have private pages and watch out for unknown numbers in an effort to prevent situations like DeStefano and Brianna's. Now, you've got to keep that stuff locked down. This is why, right? The problem is if you have it public, you're allowing yourself to be scammed by people like this because they're going to be looking for public profiles that have as much information as possible on you. And when they get a hold of that, they're going to dig into you. Dan Mayo, assistant special agent for FBI's Phoenix office, told NBC 15, "This is especially critical for America because guess what, y'all? America stalks y'all like it's scary. We don't have that much information. Like, if you take any random Canadian, myself included, I could give you all my information. If you try to Google me, I'm not coming up, right? But if I find out your name, your first and last name, your age, I don't know, age is just to confirm which one of the ones that I found online is you, right? Like, you could Google anybody in America. It's crazy. And the amount of information you can get from just having someone's first and last name is astounding. It's astounding. So remember that it's relatively easy. The more information you're giving away, right, the more of your biological markers you give away, like your voice, like the way you sound when you're angry or confused or say hello or whatever. Yeah, makes a difference. It's crazy.
I didn't for a second doubt her voice.
AI expert Hani Farid showed me how it's done. The Berkeley professor says he can take just a few examples of my real voice and manipulate it to say something I never said.
I went over to YouTube and I searched for your name and I found an interview that you gave. It took me all of 5 seconds to do that. I uploaded that to a web service that I pay $5 a month for. In about 30 seconds, it cloned your voice. I typed what I wanted you to say and it handed me an audio file back. That whole thing took me under 5 minutes to do.
So I have the recording that you made. I'm going to play it right now.
It's Allison. This is going to be hard to believe, but I've been kidnapped. They want 1 million ransom. Otherwise, they say they'll hurt me. I don't know what's going to happen. They want me to hang up now. I've got to go. I love you.
That's pretty creepy.
Still gives me goosebumps because her voice was so real.
Bree has no idea how the scammers got a sample of her voice that they used to create the phony kidnapping script.
Just think of the movies. Slow it down, slow the person down. Ask a bunch of questions. If this ever happens to you, okay, where you get a call from someone who's saying, hey, I've kidnapped your loved one, right? If they have someone of interest to you, you're going to know a lot of details about them that this scam artist isn't going to know. You start asking questions about who it is and different details of their background that are not publicly available. You're going to find out real quick if it's a scam artist. Now that is a good way to kind of like, check, but remember that not everyone's going to be a 15-year-old. Not everyone is going to be stupid enough to sit around for an hour in conversation. So that's not always going to work out. Now, as always, okay, shout out and thank you so much to Char Willie, because honestly, Char has always brought us the scam. She's always brought us the recall. She has always brought us this stuff. And even though she's not doing content on her channel, she is still providing us over here through Ruby and I'll Be That Media, okay? Or Be That News Network. She is still providing us with this amazing information, and to know that this is already, I'm just hearing about the voice activated, Drake song. I just heard about, deep fakes in music videos like not that long ago. Already the scam artists are using this. This is crazy. So shout out to Shar. Thank you very much again for this story. Y'all, I hope y'all learned something. Put it into practice. Talk to the youngins that you love. Talk to the oldins that you love. Talk to the peer level that you love. Okay? We got to protect each other so that we can safeguard against this type of scam, not going wild and robbing people blind left, right, and center before we get a handle on it.